the crowd support in Bombay is outstanding. So in Bombay, when you're done with 34 kilometers, you reach Pedder Road. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, Pedder Road, one of the South Bombay's posh locations.
Yeah, so from Pedder Road, there's a flyover there. You cross the flyover and then you go towards Marine Drive.
Okay.
That is probably the hardest part of the run, the last 8 kilometers, from kilometer 34 to 42. And literally, the crowd support is making you run because almost all the people staying in those buildings there in Sobo are out there. When you are actually looking for some kind of godly intervention to give you energy, you have people offering you sweets, you have people offering you Gatorade, and because it's Sobo, you don't get lemon juice, you get Gatorade.
Oh my God! मतलब marathon भागते we arrived in life हो जाते हो.
Yeah. So the last stretch actually is very nice.
Hello there! 2023 is almost over. We are just a few days away from 2024, the new year. This has been a great year because, come on, we started Misadventures of a Sneaker this year. And it has been an amazing journey with everyone so far. The stories and the journeys that our guests shared, the new trips that we took, and hopefully we are looking forward to more next year. Since it's almost the beginning of a new year and we are busy writing resolutions, we have this amazing pro marathon runner with us today who's not only giving us FOMO about travel, but also about keeping ourselves fit for the next coming year. So, hello there, welcome to another and most likely the last episode of this year, Misadventures of a Sneaker. I'm your host Godly, and with me today is my co-host Revati.
Hi! And today, like Godly said, we have with us a goal setter. और जिसको सुन के हमको लगेगा कि we have to head out like भाग मिलकर भाग and do all the runs and marathons and get fitter in 2024. So, hi Dilip!
Hi Dilip!
So Dilip, welcome to our podcast. We are the Misadventures of a Sneaker.
Thank you, Revo. Thank you, Godly.
Very excited to have you. This is going to be a very unique kind of conversation because we are not only going to be focusing on just traveling, but a lot of running while traveling, which is, I was, telling my husband that I'm really very optimistically hopeful that at the end of this, maybe आज शाम से मेरे जूते ready हैं, okay, बस running चालू करना है. I got really nice shoes that I want to start running. So so Atra Patra is ready, but I just need the inspiration. So,
get into it and start.
Yeah. So I think at the end of this, already notes देख के I kind of have a very strong feeling कि I will. But I think तुम्हारा बात सुन के मैं एकदम I will start the running as well.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure, but let's.
Lot of pressure, but formality के लिए no pressure.
Sure.
So welcome once again, Dilip. Very much looking forward to a conversation about all the exotic places that you've run in and all your fun runs as well. Vesya, I hope you've been enjoying our earlier podcast episodes too.
Yeah, some of the stuff that I saw on your podcast are like really exotic travels.
Yeah.
The destinations are super interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, wonderful. So Dilip, I'm going to start our conversation with this one question. I know you've run a lot of marathons, the really popular ones, the Delhi Marathon, the Mumbai Marathon and all that as well. But amongst all the ones that you have run, you've had some real exotic, unique kind of runs as well. Not necessarily just, running in the marathon, but can be even while training, etc. So amongst so many that you have run and trained and all of that, what has been one of your most unique, experiences? Can you share a couple of these?
Yeah, sure. So, actually, more than marathons, so to introduce, I do a little bit of long distance running. So I train 2 to 3 times a week and then do a long run on Sundays. So when and my work takes me traveling to different places. So most of my experience is not that I go travel for running in different places. It's not exotic as exotic as it sounds. I end up traveling for work and then I mix running. I try to put running along in my schedule. So I have traveled to 20-25 cities across the country on work. And there, when I travel, I have some experiences which I wasn't having in my mind. So, for example, if I had to share one was Trivandrum. I was running on the roads and then I saw a board for Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple. It's a very popular, famous temple. You must have heard of it.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, let me go. I do like to go visit temples also sometimes. So I said, okay, let me go to the temple. I will have a nice darshan and then run back to my hotel. And then when I reached the temple, I realized you're not allowed in shorts. It was a unique combination. You're not allowed in shorts, but you're supposed to be bare chest. So, but they have arrangements. You can rent a mundu or a veshti. You can also rent a male veshti, small towel kinds with which you cover your chest, and then get in. So what was unique or almost embarrassing was that when I have to deposit my t-shirt at the counter, the lady at the counter was almost embarrassed. She refused to touch my t-shirt because I was sweaty. So she was like, okay, are you crazy? You run here, you're sweating, and then you're saying you're renting clothes, and then you're getting into the temple. I said, madam, please, jane do. And then I came back. Also, I did not even have 100 rupees. Now, when you go to the temple, you donate some money in the undi.
तुम्हारे पास कुछ भी नहीं था. You had nothing with you.
Yeah. So I had to pay the lady for the clothes, and I also wanted to donate money to the temple. I said, GP lenge. She said, no. And then she said, she was happy to give me the rental service for free. She said, okay, good riddance, get lost.
Good riddance for bad Ravish.
So then I felt so guilty. Yeah, I actually had a wonderful darshan, but I felt guilty. So I came back to my hotel, looked up the temple's website, donated money online so that I got rid of the guilt.
How sweet. I remember having like the best, I think they give a paisam prasad over there, right? Ekdam yum hota hai wo.
Yeah.
You should have run back in the Veshti, man. You would have had a Veshti run.
There's actually some people who do that. I've seen people running in suits. In the marathons, and especially the popular marathons, a lot of people come dressed up in very weird outfits only for the photographs, or maybe they're running for a cause or something. I've seen people running in Superman outfits. I've seen people running in formal suits. I've seen people running in Nawari sari.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, Superman suits might be very comfortable gear to wear, but suit पहन के कैसे कोई भाग सकता है? बाप रे बाप. Very determined.
I started in Bombay. Imagine in the weather there.
In the weather of Bombay, my God. Oh, cosplay जैसे होता है ना in these comic cons. वैसे यहाँ पे marathon. ऐसे but marathon, Mumbai marathon is also a festival kinds. So बहुत. Yeah. That's the only marathon I have like attended, not run, attended. And I've seen people all dressed up and side mein jo cheer kar rahe hain, and it's great fun. It's great fun.
So it's a big deal. I think there's more than 25,000 people across both formats, half and full. They also have the dream run, 10K, etc. But the more popular ones are the half marathon and the full marathon. You have 25,000-30,000 people runners running, and the arrangements are top notch. Of course, it's a celebrated run, so the who's who across the country running. It's probably in the best time of the year in Bombay. Bombay can offer the best of the weather in Jan, so it's on the 3rd Sunday of January. And in fact, I went to Singapore the last weekend. I ran the marathon there. I was telling my brother, the Bombay marathon is actually much better organized than Singapore marathon.
Oh, hashtag incredible India. My God.
Oh, yeah. So I was telling my friends and my brother about it. The marathon start in Singapore, the marathon didn't even start on time. It started 15 minutes late.
Ouch.
The people running half and full started together, which seems weird. That never happens in any of the marathons. Then the crowd support in Bombay is outstanding. So in Bombay, when you're done with 34 kilometers, you reach Pedder Road. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, Pedder Road, one of the South Bombay's posh locations.
Yeah, so from Pedder Road, there's a flyover there. You cross the flyover and then you go towards Marine Drive.
Okay.
That is probably the hardest part of the run, the last 8 kilometers, from kilometer 34 to 42. And literally, the crowd support is making you run because almost all the people staying in those buildings there in Sobo are out there. When you are actually looking for some kind of godly intervention to give you energy, you have people offering you sweets, you have people offering you Gatorade, and because it's Sobo, you don't get lemon juice, you get Gatorade.
Oh my God! मतलब marathon भागते भागते भी arrived in life हो जाते हो.
Yeah. So the last stretch actually is very nice.
What fun. You actually run up run up a flyover and all of that as well. Wow. Strenuous hota hoga na?
Oh yeah. Some of these marathons. So it's not just about the distance. It's also about the route, the trail, the elevation.
The
So
terrain and
Bombay.
all, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So Bombay has one flyover. That's not too difficult, but some of them have much more inclines. So Satara, it's a popular one. Satara Hill Marathon is a half marathon. I think it's being organized for the last 8-9 years or so. It's a beautiful place. So you know Satara.
Yes.
Satara, about 100 kilometers from Pune. The place, it happens during the monsoon, so high likelihood of.
You will run in the rain. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. And you actually start from the city, you go up the hills, you run 10.5, and then you come down. The entire city, right from the time the day before when you go collect the bib, up till the time you're running, and especially when you're getting done, the city is out on the street celebrating you, cheering for you. The small kids who are clapping for you, waving you, giving you high fives. So it's very, very good. So Satara actually is a difficult trail, slightly difficult trail, because it has a little bit of incline. 2-3 kilometers in it are difficult, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So what is more fun, running up or running down?
So running up is supposed to be difficult because it normally puts you out of breath, but it's a challenge. So when you actually end up doing the uphill stretch and look back, you feel proud. You get an ego kick. And especially if you haven't started walking. So I like to run slowly. I do decently on uphill terrains. So if you are running and then you look back and see that, okay, I did this difficult part without giving up, without walking, you feel very nice about it. Downhill, it's easier, but more injury prone. You might just end up faster than you should. Most injuries happen when you're running downhill.
Yeah, and and then you'll have something. Yeah.
Yeah. So another beautiful hill stretch I should tell you is Lonavala. So I've done the Lonavala Ultra about 2-3
So
times.
what is the difference between an ultra marathon, a full marathon? I don't know.
So the half is 21, the full is 42, ultra is 50 or above. So the Lonavala Ultra, while it has 35 and 50, I have done 35 once and 50 twice. It starts from the city. Actually, this year they had changed it. It used to start from a place far away from the city and end far away from the city. This time it started from the city and sort of ended within the city only. But it's a beautiful stretch. First, it happens in February, in the end of February, where it's almost cold when you start. It starts at 2:30 a.m. for the 50 guys. And, it starts at 4:30 a.m. for the guys that's running 35. And it is mostly rolling hills. So up and down, up and down, up and down. And 50 kilometers there is not easy. And it's a long run. If you do your full marathon in, let's say, 5 hours, this is 8 kilometers more. You will take, let's say, an hour more, but this will take you at least 30 more minutes because of the altitude of the terrains. So Lonavala took me 6 hours and 40 minutes or something of that sort. It is a beautiful stretch. Firstly, you feel most of it you're running alone. It's not easy to be running it along with anybody for that long distance. You're literally on your own and out of that 7 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours is in the dark. After 5 a.m. is when you start seeing some sunshine. So you're running in the dark. It's not too crowded. There's barely anybody on the roads except the runners, but excellently organized. So it's organized by Striders, one of the running groups in Bombay, in support with Tata. So Tata Group. So Tata's sponsor a lot of marathons across the country as well as the globe. Maybe because their group chairman Chandra is a very avid runner. So Chandra, in fact, used to run with Striders, the group that I used to train with in Bombay. And Tata sponsored the Bombay Marathon, Tata sponsored the Singapore Marathon, Tata sponsored the New York, Tata sponsored the Amsterdam Marathon.
Oh, so very with the leading ones, almost like at least in India, Mumbai Marathon is probably the most popular one.
Yeah.
And worldwide, London is big, Boston is big, New York is big. So
yeah, so there are 6 world majors. I think they sponsor 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Impressive, man. So in this Lonavala Marathon, when you're saying you're going up and down, it's not like the Satara, because Satara mein tum bol rahe ho, चढ़ते
Yeah,
हुए
yeah.
one shot
Satara
है,
is
then हाँ,
10K
this is
uphill and then you come down. This is up and down.
gradually
These are
पूरा
rolling
time
hills.
ऊपर नीचे करते रहो. Wow.
Yeah, so they call it rolling hills. So, except probably the last 5-6 kilometers when you are down in the flats, it's mostly up and down. So, you really have to pace yourself well. You need to have a lot of leg muscle strength. And of course, you need to be headstrong also. 6.5 hours alone running is not that easy, but
बाप रे
a lot.
बाप. My God. So what has your best timing been for your full marathon? For a 2
Oh, it
kilometer
was
run?
actually the last weekend. More the unexpected when you Singapore. Singapore is actually a humid city. It's like Bombay. It's year round 28-30 degrees, rains almost every day. Yeah, the day before I landed there on Friday, Saturday was actually hot and humid when I did a small run. But I was thinking it's going to be difficult. The run started. I told you about it. It was a little crowded, but somehow God Varuna came in, and 2 hours into the run, it started raining, and then the weather became pleasant. In Singapore, there is the stretch called Gardens by the Bay. There are some beautiful gardens, man-made, not natural, but they are excellently maintained. So when we were running through that stretch, about 20-25 kilometers into the run, it started raining. It started getting windy. So that's when I picked up pace. So I managed to do the marathon in 4 hours and 55 minutes.
That's been your personal best so far.
Yeah, I have done, I think, some 9 of them. Ultra and full marathons, I've done 9 of them. And this was my personal best.
Wow, my God. When you were describing the Tata Mumbai marathon thing and you said, oh, 10K dream run भी होता है. I feel so proud. मैंने 2-3 10K किया है और तुमने ऐसे मुझे brush aside कर दिया. What nonsense, Dilip.
No, it starts like that. I can tell you my own journey. So I used to be very unfit. I used to stay in Bombay and Chembur. There is a place called Diamond Garden. Would you believe it? I used to run a 300 meters circumference of the Diamond Garden with 2 breaks. I used to take 2 stops to finish 1 loop of Diamond Garden. I was that heavily fit. But somehow just running happened, got into a nice group, got a nice group of friends, then got enthused about it. All of that happened over the last 7-8 years. But yeah, if you're persistent about it, you will get there. But yeah, everybody starts very poorly only.
I like it. So how did you start running? What is your running story?
Nothing so glamorous or exotic. So this was 2016. My wife had just gotten pregnant. And that's when we thought, okay, my current lifestyle should need some bit of alteration because everybody told me, dude, you're in for a tough ride. And then when we came to know it's going to be twins,
yeah.
Then people said it's going to be even more difficult. So buckle up. So then I said, ठीक है, कुछ तो करना चाहिए fitness के लिए. My sort of my claim to fame or my badge of honor used to be finishing 1 cheeseburger pizza and 2 bottles of beer. That was my achievement up till then. So I thought, okay, let's try and get a little fitter. So friends of mine got me into this running group called Striders in Bombay. And then it started off as a casual, routine or an exercise just to get a little fitter. Even then, I was just trying to earn my weekend binge. It's not that I was getting disciplined. I said, okay, since the beers on the weekend are happening, let me try and at least earn them over the week or on Sunday morning. But then
that's also probably how I'm going to start myself.
Yeah, that's how most of us start. So actually, for the first 3-4 years, it was like that. So I got in, I started running some half marathons, etc., etc. But then still, I wasn't very disciplined. I was very passionate about running. What happened was I got into a group. What I did not think was I'll find an amazing group of friends. So I found like-minded people. Then I started getting committed about landing up, about turning up to the ground and training 3-4 times a week. What started with probably 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers a day or 5 kilometers a week started becoming 30, 40, 50 kilometers a week. I used to have some amazing conversations over runs with friends of mine.
You talk, man. I cannot.
I'm a slow runner, so it's not that one is actually gasping for breath or something. So that's okay. Then 3-4 years after that, when I think sometime after the first wave in 2021 maybe, Nivedita, my wife, also joined the group. She also got into running because most of the friends are common. And then she got more enthused than me. She's more sincere and diligent than me. So she started taking the training even more seriously. Then over the last 2 years, we got really serious about fitness, about health. So we signed up for a nutritionist. We sort of lost weight, lost flab, became leaner, meaner. And then
sexy. वो भी डाल दो बीच में.
But then I changed jobs and I recently moved to Gurgaon about 8-9 months ago. Yeah, it's going to be 9 months now. So I moved here. Here also, I was lucky to find a very good group called Gurgaon Road Runners. Again, heavily performance-focused group, but really cool set of people. Good fun to train with, good fun to run with. Excellent trainer. So both these groups have been sort of life-changing. They have had a big impact. They have helped us be committed. So that was the trick. I think getting in at the right time and joining a group of people so that the peer set was good enough and the motivation stays. And then, of course, the privilege of traveling to different cities or countries and running also kept the motivation levels high.
How nice. You have a good set of friends, man. Maybe throw introduce karao.
Yeah. The 5 a.m. wale friends, not the people who stay up till 5 a.m. But
I need that. I need
so you
that.
should actually see that. So Gurgaon, that was a culture change. I should tell you this. So when in Bombay, it used to happen when you used to run at NCPA at Marine Drive. We used to land up there at 5 and start running. We'll normally be disturbing the people whose late night parties are going on. We used to think, okay, a few years ago we were them.
We were there, yeah, we were there. Yes.
Looks like we're growing older now.
Umar.
That used to happen at NCPA, but then towards the end of our stint in Bombay, we were running only locally in Chembur. In Gurgaon, the place that I stay, there's a place called Golf Course Road. The place is a very popular road. So every Sunday morning when we land up for the run, we are invariably intruding somebody's party. So in Gurgaon, already the number of wine shops are way too many. I keep telling this, there are more wine shops than pharmacies.
Oh my God. And
every wine shop has the largest font written open till 4 a.m. So the parties are going
4 a.m.
Yeah, so people are literally buying booze up till 4 a.m. and then we are disturbing them at 5 a.m. when we start running.
I love, my God, this is like ultimate, man. If not weekends, do the alternate weekend beer happen at least now? You are completely like clean.
No, I still managed. Yesterday also we went out drinking. So, but the capacity somehow has come down.
That is Umar, man. That is Umar.
We are not able to manage the drunken nights. It's not just the Umar, I guess. It's also the two kids at home. You realize that okay, कल सुबह उठ के 8 बजे उनको स्कूल भी भेजना है.
What about when you go on vacations? How do you manage your running? I mean, I'll talk about work trips later, but about on vacations when you are heading, do you always continue your discipline of running every morning?
We try and catch a run. Sometimes when it's just the 4 of us and it's stressful, then maybe not so much. But either there is somebody at home to watch the kids. Let's say if we go to my parents' place in Bangalore, or if we're going somewhere where there's relatives available, then if there's somebody available to watch the kids, both of us go running together. Or we alternate runs sometimes, etc. Okay. But yeah, we do try and catch a run. Like I told you, the charm of going to a new place and running is there. So I definitely like to go and at least do 1 or 2 runs in the place that I'm going to. Nivedita, my wife, not, but definitely me.
Are your kids also getting into fitness and running like you guys?
Yeah, a little too soon for them. They're 6.5, a little early for them. But yeah, they're very enthused about sharing our jogging stories. They ask us every Sunday, Appa, Amma, how much did you run? Oh. How much did you do? Did you do well? Are you tired? Are you going to be running tomorrow? Then they tell their grandmother, Party, please wake me up before Appa, Amma come back.
Well, they'll come and cheer you guys like how after your run in NCPA and all the people come and cheer us. Yeah, you can do it, Appa.
Yeah, that's also a great feeling. So this Lonavala that I finished, they were actually at the finish line. Nivedita wasn't running, so Nivedita and the kids were at the finish line when I got done with my run. That was a beautiful feeling.
वो एकदम फिल्मी हुआ क्या कि तुम यहाँ से भाग रहे, तुम्हारे बच्चे इधर से भाग रहे थे और तुम बीच में मिले वैसे drama hua ki nahi hua?
Drama nahi tha, but finished line pe those guys
It's
were
always
cheering
nice.
and clapping. So it was a very heartwarming thing to see.
Tell us about your training groups, your the striders and all of that you mentioned. What kind of training do you guys do for running? I mean, I would think it's just running, but of course you have to also.
No. So running needs a little bit of training outside of running also. So you have to do a little bit of core strength training, agility training, etc. So the group in Bombay, I trained with them for 7 years, from 16 to 23. It's called Striders. It's actually a very popular group. They have chapters all over Bombay. Every chapter में there's a trainer who comes you meet at a ground. We meet three times a week at the training ground, and Sunday is a long run. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday types को एक schedule होता था. One day will be a interval run. Interval is when you do bursts of 1K or 500 meters. One day is when you're doing core strength. So you take the yoga mat. We'll do exercises which aim at making your midriff or your lower back stronger, because your thighs, your lower back, your arms, etc. also need to sustain when you are running longer distances.
Yeah.
Core strength में invest करोगे तो longer distances में बहुत help होता है.
Okay.
Weights, we do that at home. All trainers, all running trainers recommend that you do a little bit of weights at home. Not very heavy duty gym body types, but do some weights so that your core gets strengthened. So that was Striders. Very, very good group. Again, made awesome friends also there. You find mostly people of your own, wavelength, and across ages. So the beauty was, what was inspirational was, we were probably the youngest in the running group that we went to. And there were people who were 50, 55, 60, 65. I think the oldest member of our running group was 67 years. And he beats me hands pants down when he runs the half marathon.
Yeah, so he has been running since like, whatever, decades.
Oh, yeah. So he's an inspiration. Ravi Chandran karke in Chembur, he is 67 or maybe 68. He trains 7 days a week. He runs 3 days, cycles 3 days, and does exercises every day. And he runs the half marathon in 2 hours. He did the full marathon in 4.5 hours. He also cycles 50, 100 kilometers, whatever, 3 times a week. So he is like godly level. And he has a daytime job. He's refused to retire. He has a business of his own.
और यहाँ पे हम लोग early retirement की बातें कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, तो उनके साथ बात करके तो शर्म आ जाती है. So that was the dose of inspiration also. That was good actually, because we had some senior people whose kids were elder, who had been through the walk of life that we had. So they'll end up sharing some anecdotes from their life, and really inspirational stuff. He should just start swimming, man. Then he can do that. What is it called? The triathlon.
Triathlon, yeah.
Triathlon.
yeah, like apna, what is his name? Milind Soman and all. Yeah, ekdam wo Iron Man triathlon. Dude. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's one thing that jo baki reh gaya hai. Yeah, in Gurgaon, I train with a group called Gurgaon Road Runners. We have a trainer called Sid who runs this group, Siddharth Chaudhary. Very, very professionally accomplished, I should say. This group, in fact, is much more performance focused. There's a bunch of people who run extremely well. So in my group in Bombay, I was probably in the top 10 percentile of the runners in terms of mileage, etc. But here, I am at the 50th percentile. The Janta here seems to be way more performance driven, way more competent. And so if I do 40, 50 kilometers a week, there is a bunch of runners. We call them Kenyans. There's a group of 4-5 runners here in the group who do 100 kilometers a week effortlessly. And they'll do like 15 a day, 20 the next day, 30 the next day, etc. So it's crazy actually. So the inspiration ka dose ki kami nahi hai is group mein. Oh, pray. Ekdam giving full justice to the name you guys have given to them, the Kenyans. Yeah, really cool people. Also in Gurgaon, the good thing is the roads are amazing here. It's a nice stretch to run. Also this time of the year, the weather is very nice. It's very, very cold outside. It's 11-12 degrees in the morning when we step out. So what fun to run in that weather. Oh, yeah, so running has become expensive in Delhi. In Bombay, all I needed was one shorts and t-shirt. Here I have wrecked up Decathlon ka all kinds of layers here. Yeah. So there's all kinds of running gear that we have invested in. But yeah, this group is also a very, very cool group. And both of us are training with them right now. In fact, Naveta, my wife, is going to be doing her first full next month in Bombay. Wow, she ran the Tata Marathon.
She's running the Tata. Both of us are running. She did the half the last time.
42 kilometers. So cool. So cool. Oh, very impressive, man. Oh my God. ये सब सुन के मुझे feels आ रहा है थोड़ा.
Yeah, she's more committed than me now. I travel 3-4 days a week, so I end up missing some of these sessions. I run on my own most of the times. I do a long run with the group on Sundays, but otherwise during the week I make it only to 1 or 2 runs. But she trains with the group at least 5-6 days a week. She goes for the workout sessions, she goes for the runs, she wakes up early, she does workout at home also. So वो तो मतलब Iron Man बनी हुई है अभी.
Awesome. No, once I think you start and you get into the groove, it gives you a phenomenal rush to keep going like that, right?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Also, even in a sport or a athletics kind of a training, you realize the front bencher attitude gets you there. So I wasn't a front bencher. I just used to do some kind of class participation to get away. But clearly my wife is the front bencher. She's the ACP.
How do you manage? So you say that you travel a lot, your work takes you to a lot of places and you travel a lot in a month. How do you manage your discipline while traveling? Because invariably when we travel, we either take a late night flight or an early morning flight and we reach our, wherever we have to head to. You have meetings scheduled properly. You can't be aage piche and things like that. And you're in a new city and you're in a small suitcase. You won't be carrying like a nice big suitcase full of gear and all of that. So how do you manage all of it?
So it doesn't take as much effort actually. So karna hai first of all. So the running is squeezed somewhere in the schedule when you're traveling. If you're traveling 3-4 days a week, 2 days of travel will end up happening. 2 days of running will end up happening. Running gear is light. All I need is t-shirt and shorts. I run with sandals. So the sandals are
You run with sandals?
Yeah.
You're very much like Milan Soman. Oh my God, Dilip.
No. So there is this book you should read called Born to Run by Christopher McDougall. I read it about 2 years back. There is a science to it that the cushion that most running shoes provide are counterproductive for the knees. Most knee injuries end up happening because of the cushion that's there in most modern shoes. And the way the human leg is designed, the human foot is designed, we are designed, the pressure on the knees is lowest or ideal when we are barefooted. So he describes this tribe called the Tahara Muras, who actually are the most efficient runners and they run barefoot. So when he trained with them, ran with them, did a marathon with them, etc., he came up with the concept of barefoot running. So there's a company called Luna Sandals. It's an American company. They sell now all over the world. They sell running sandals. So these are long distance running sandals, and they also are useful for casual wear. So that's what I've been running on for the last 2 years or so. They're very, very comfortable, very airy, very cool, very casual. So they work as multi-purpose footwear. You can wear them when you're stepping out and you wear them for runs. So that gets sorted. I managed to run 3 days a week when I'm traveling. So normally I do travel to 2 cities a week or 1 city a week. I will end up flying in one morning, but I stay there the night, and the next day morning I end up running. I try and avoid late evening dinner drinking sessions so that I'm able to run. I am normally also an early morning riser. I sleep early. Since the time my kids were born, I used to sleep off with them at 9:30, 10 kinds. And I wake up early and I manage to run. And like I said, the motivation is to just go explore the city, do a little bit of running. Some of the best runs, actually, while the runs abroad are good to sort of put on your so-called running resume, actually the running in India is also a different, very, very enlightening. The running culture in India, I must tell you, has now become like a big deal. I'm very, very, excited about how fitness and running has been taken up all over the country. And I'm not just talking Bangalore, Delhi, Bombay kind of cities, even in tier cities. So I remember going to Baroda where the parks were full. People were running and walking. I've been to Ludhiana where people end up doing workouts there in the morning in the parks with weights. People get weights from home and put working out. I should tell you about Jaipur. I've been to Jaipur multiple times, but I accidentally landed up at this place called Central Park. This place is right in the middle of the city. It's a large ground. It has a horse riding ground, a polo ground, parks where people are walking, running, whatever, jogging.
Oh.
There's also the old uncles and auntie doing the hoo hoo ha ha laughter.
They are the best. उनको देख के हमेशा हंसी आती है, the laughing club.
Yeah, but what was surprising to me was the place is right in the middle of the city. It's a good, I think, 6-kilometer loop or something if you do the entire thing.
Wow.
I went there thinking I'll spend half an hour. I ended up spending 2 hours. I ran 15 kilometers or so. And then at the end of the loop, you see the place is maintained by JDA, the Government Jaipur Development Authority. It's a beautiful place. One can literally compare it to, I don't know, Hyde Park of London or something of that sort. It is a really well-maintained place. And such places have now started coming up across this country in different cities. I had a similar experience in Ahmedabad. So actually, if you do a little bit of Googling, if you do a little bit of speaking to people as to what is a good stretch to run or what is a nice place to go to, you end up having a very good run. So I'll tell you 2 cities. So in Ahmedabad, I have normally run on the roads near my hotel, etc. This time around, I said, okay, let me go try a little longer. And I went to this place, which is the riverfront, the Sabarmati River ke baju mein. There is a riverfront there. The place is beautiful. It has been, the entire riverfront, I think, would be about 5 to 6 kilometers long. You actually get down from the road. You step down from the road and then you're walking or running right next to the river. There is a nice track which has been built. It is spotless. It is clean. It is maintained very well. The water is okay, not so exotic looking, but calm, peaceful. You don't find motorists at all. You'll find is a few people walking and running. Not at all crowded. I had a fantastic run. I was really surprised that I hadn't been there earlier. I'd been to Ahmedabad half a dozen times before, but I found this place just by sheer luck.
Oh, lovely.
Like a wonderful experience. So
the Sabarmati riverfront recently only got so spruced up.
Yeah, I'm told it's happened in the last 4 or 5 years.
So we actually did an episode on Ahmedabad a couple of episodes back. And the girl who actually spoke about Ahmedabad spoke about the Sabarmati riverfront, how it was earlier and how the whole thing is now so spruced up. There's another place called the Kankaria Lake, which also you can explore when you go next. And that's also a proper park kind, so you won't have motorists. And it's a decently large, not 6 kilometers kind, but it's a decently large, it'll be a nice running track as well. One more suggestion for you. So you do explore a city a lot while running, right?
Yeah. So the good thing about doing it when you're running is you're doing it in the morning when it's not so crowded. The weather is probably the best time of the day and you're on your own. So you can happily just, and I don't listen to music or I don't have anything on my ears when I'm running. So I normally just am casually, slowly running across, just seeing what the city has to offer inside. And probably I'm in my head thinking what I have to do in the work, etc. But yeah, that's a good way to explore the city. And a lot of the times you get, surprised or you get kicks when you accidentally discover some amazing places. So Pune, I can tell you, I used to go visit. I visit Pune almost every 3 months. I've run a lot of times there, and Pune has very nice running places because it also has nice weather in the mornings, etc. This time around, again, by mistake or by sheer luck, it was raining and I got into this place called the University, the Pune University campus. So that place is like a mini IIT. IIT, I'm sure you've heard, all IITs across the country have a beautiful campus. Pune University is nothing less than IIT. Itna beautiful campus. The place is open to public. You can come inside. Roads are nicely built. There is gardens and parks. At that time of the day that I went, everybody was out on the roads, only walking or running. Wow. The weather was really nice. I ended up doing what I thought will be 1 hour and 7-8 kilometers. Ended up being 25 kilometers. I spent almost 3 hours running in and around Pune University. It was so beautiful.
How beautiful. How is it open to public? Oh, it's a university, but not all university campuses are not open to public.
I was also surprised. The place was open to public. They happily let me in. And I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of people who were running there.
It's fun to see Janta out in the mornings.
Oh yeah, it's motivating. It's nice to see so many people. And like I said, it's happening across the country. So it's a really good thing. I think it's now 20 years back, I remember telling my wife, 20 years back, it was cool to be eating burgers and pizzas. Now it's cool to be running and doing something about fitness.
Yes, it's true. That's very true. It's a good trend that's picking up.
It's a good trend. Yeah.
It's a good trend that's picking up. So in your, not training, but in your actual marathons that you have run across the country, world, have you had any chance encounters with some strangers who you have hit up amazingly well with later on? Kabhi hua hai? Talk to people.
Yeah, so you pick
people.
up conversations with people, but it's not that I've stayed in touch with them after the runs. But yeah, I have a few close friends with whom I've done a lot of running. So unke saath I have very, very strong conversational runs. So a friend of mine called Sailesh, both of us have been running since Bombay days, and we trained pre-COVID. We were then we were in Striders Chembur together. So we used to run pre-COVID. We used to run during COVID in Chembur. Then we did some of these marathons together. We did Amsterdam run together. So most of the runs end up becoming conversational. That is the good part of doing long runs. Chance encounters, you end up running with some people and catching up on stories on both sides. That is good fun. So Amsterdam May, when my friend and I we were running, we met somebody who was running with us, and the guy was मतलब देखने में Indian जैसा लग रहा था. So we said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Delhi. He said, oh, you're from Bombay. Then the guy happened to be working in The Hague. Imagine what are the odds. The software developer working for TCS in The Hague, and he said, मैं यहाँ 7 साल से settled हूँ. I quite like it here. Then he went on to share his life story. He was telling us how he got here, etc. So some unexpected conversation got us through from kilometer 20 to 30. So that was good.
I cannot believe you guys talk while running. I just cannot believe it, because mere se to I'm like all the time and I'm...
Oh, no. So we talk quite a lot. So either with Niveta or my friend with whom I'm running, we end up reviewing books. Mostly end up talking about either books or weekend plans, or if I'm with somebody, then work ke baare mein kya chal raha hai. So I have, actually there's an interesting thing. My friend and I both were, preparing for interviews or job changes at around the same time. Both were in sales jobs. Both are in sales jobs. So both of us were sharing our story, saying that, okay, this week I'm meeting my board member, ye gyan hai, wo gyan hai, etc. So both of us over a period of 1 month prepped each other for interviews and job selections, and ended up getting the jobs that we wanted.
भागते भी सेम पेस में कैसे भागते रहते हो यार साथ में?
ट्रेनिंग जब साथ में किया है तो you normally if a group of 20-30 people train, I've seen that in both my running groups in Bombay and Delhi, you'll find smaller groups of 3-4 people who are क्या बोलते हैं like paced, similar paced, who end up running together. So छोटे-छोटे group बन जाएंगे 3-4 लोगों के who end up running together and then become much closer friends. Also their paces match, etc. So they end up doing most of the runs together.
When you started training, did you start running with music, or you've never run with music on?
I have run with music sometimes. I tried it, but then when somebody advised me that try running without music, it is better for you. It is, of course, it's slightly safer because you are a little mindful of the traffic on the roads. Also, it's better for you. Sometimes battery may run out. Sometimes music may conk off. Your motivation to run should not die. That felt like a logical thing.
That's a very good point. Because I need, so I will, if I go running, I always have one playlist which will be like the running pumping playlist, because I need that, like अगर मैं भाग रही और मैं मिल्खा सिंह सुन लूँ तो मैं और थोड़ा सा भाग जाऊंगी. No, I think it really works on my head that way. So that's why I'm very, very surprised that there are people who don't run, I mean, rather who run without music and all of that.
So in fact, I don't know, but maybe in long distance running, the majority of them don't listen to music. Yeah. They are focused on their running. They are probably in their head thinking about something. But there's also, you have to keep checking your watch also. So you need to see if your heart rate is okay, if you're running the right pace. If you have a time or this thing mileage ka target, then are you doing okay, etc. So like my wife keeps checking her heart rate very actively, very frequently. So then that also takes up some energy of yours. So that's why music isn't necessary.
I like it, man. I really want to try this without the music thing. It's very nice. So earlier this year, we had gone on a vacation to Switzerland. And
Wow.
and there we went to this place called Lausanne, which is about an hour away from Geneva. Lausanne has the International Olympics Museum. Now, this is not something that was really up in the, things to do when you are there, kind of a thing. So we happened to find out about this Olympic Museum when we were in Lausanne, and we went to the tourist information desk to find out what are the things that we can do. We had just gone there as a do nothing day, just walking around kinds. And so in the warm part of the day, like in the afternoon, we went to the museum thinking कि चलो 2 घंटे घूम लेंगे वहां पे, staying away from the sun in the afternoon hours, and then we'll head out. I mean, we both like going to museums, but I thought
Spend some
kya hi
time
hoga?
there.
We were driven out at 5 o'clock, and we could have easily spent another hour. And because the Paris 2024 Olympics is just around the corner, they had a temporary exhibit for marathon running, or rather for running itself. The running section is a free for everyone. So anyone can go in and see. The other one is you have to pay. So this the running section is the history of marathon. The entire story of how running began as a hobby and how now it's like a worldwide phenomenon. All the marathons from the 1896 to the current one, completely laid out in an audiovisual format. Amazing immersive experiences, and the amazing stories shared that, like how one of the earlier Olympics, early 1900 Olympics, the person who actually ran the Olympics and who won, collapsed some 3 or 4 times in between because of dehydration, and then he won, and then he got disqualified. But then the queen said that, oh no, even if you're disqualified, I recognize you. Such kind of stories. Then how
it
right
evolved.
now, how it evolved. And it was very beautifully laid out. So anyone going, you should head to the, it's not very far from Geneva. You should head to the Olympic Museum there. And towards the end, I mean, it's also the history of marathons as well, how marathons started in Greece, the whole story from there, and then how the marathon torches moved from different countries every year, and then how women started getting introduced into marathon, how the first woman who actually ran was never given a bib.
Was not allowed. Yeah, she wasn't given. Read about it. Yeah.
She wasn't given, and then someone, the first one, when she got a bib, but
she
later
got
on,
women category done in marathons. Yeah, it was very inspirational. I read about it.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And this first woman who actually ran one of the Olympics in 1960s was later on given a pre-sanctioned era woman winner of the Olympics, kind of title and things like that. It is just, I just absolutely loved the entire story. And it ended at absolute 2023 when the guy who had run the fastest
Kipchoge.
Yeah.
Kipchoge.
Yes, but अभी Kipchoge से भी आगे एक और बंदा आ चुका है.
Yeah, correct.
He just beat Kipchoge by like few seconds.
Yeah.
क्या story है यार. And at the end they had this whole interactive kind of a thing where they had a whole track, and they said this is Kipchoge running. So they had Kipchoge running ka ek screen, and now if you can run faster than Kipchoge, then the Paris Olympics 24. Then in Paris Olympics you will get a bib. So there were so many folks, and it's just like you have to run for 30 seconds, but you have to run in that speed of Kipchoge. किसी को भी नहीं मिला यार. हम लोग सबने ट्राई किया कि चलो टाइम पास करते हैं. So one of those interactive time pass things.
No, impossible. So most of these bib collect करने वाला expos, when you marathon के पहले ना, when you have to go collect a bib, तो वहाँ पे exhibition रहता है. They normally sell merchandise. There is running gear, etc. So वहाँ पे a lot of these promotional stalls have treadmills where they have set it up at the speed at which Kipchoge runs, or now the new guy that Kiptum.
Yeah. Kelvin, Kiptum, क्या correct.
So उसके pace पे treadmill पे people are told तुम 2 मिनट भाग के देखो, not 2 घंटा. वो लोग तो 2 घंटा भाग रहे होते हैं. You just run for 2 minutes and nobody even lasts 30 seconds at that pace.
My God, how do they do it, man?
Oh, you should read about it. That, so like you were saying, the museum was a very good experience. Reading about running is also very, very interesting. So there's enough books. Running as a genre, like you said, there's a lot which has been written on it. People have written about training about running. Women running के बारे में बहुत सारी books हैं. Then there is about difficult trails that have been done. All kinds
Any
of stuff.
that you can recommend? You said
Oh,
Born to
quite a lot of
Run.
them.
Just one.
Yeah, Born to Run was one. Then there is Can't Beat Me by David Goggins. That is about endurance running. Then there is Rich Roll, Finding Ultra. The guy had done his, I think he had done 5 ultras in 5 days or 7 ultras in 7
What?
days. Yeah. That was
Okay,
one.
wow.
Then there was Scott Jurek करके एक runner है. He's done difficult trains. So uska you should read his book. There's one called North that I'm reading right now. It's an Apache North America ka trail hai.
Wow.
There's a cute book called Running Like a Girl, Alexandra something, Alexandra Helms. How a girl, she was actually a model. She took up to running and then became a big running junkie. So it's like an amateur's guide or a journey into running.
Lovely.
There's quite a lot of running books which are very, inspiring and have a lot of good tactical advice for runners.
And our podcast is joining as one of the running podcasts that is going to inspire the world.
Yeah, sure. जूते ना पड़े बस लोगों से running shoes.
चाहिए भी नहीं तुमको तो sandals चाहिए. Damn it. Oh, but I'm very surprised this running shoe sandal man. I've just bought like a really expensive pair. I should not have.
Try check them out next time.
Yeah, I will actually. Okay, tell us about your running abroad. What have your highlights been? You've run across 5 countries, you said, right?
Yeah, running casually तो बहुत सारों में किया है. Marathons maybe, yeah, India, Singapore, London. Then
you've done the Amsterdam and London, right? Both of them are those top 5 things,
no.
right?
So Amsterdam I have done. Amsterdam is not a world major. So the world majors, there are 6 of them. There's my life goal is that over the next 10 years, both my wife and I want to do these 6 world majors.
Oh, wow.
That is New York, Chicago, Boston, London, Berlin, Tokyo. These are the 6 world majors.
I think Amsterdam and Rotterdam also would be the top.
No. So Amsterdam is one of the biggest amateur runs where tourists all over the country come. I'll speak about Amsterdam shortly.
Yes.
There's also, I think there is talk of Sydney becoming a world major. From here. But currently there are 6 of them, and in these 6, it's very difficult to get in also. So the draws are very tough. Normally to get in, you need to finish your full marathon. Your qualification certificate or timing needs to be of less than 4 hours or less than 3 hours, 45 minutes. वो तो impossible है मेरे लिए. But there are these tourism companies which get you into the marathons. So उनके through, we try and see if we can get in. Of course, the mecca of all is Comrades. Comrades is, if you heard of it, is a 77-kilometer run from Durban to Pietermaritzburg. It's an annual run in South Africa. And the trail is a hill. So every year it is either Durban to Pietermaritzburg, I think it is uphill, and then Pietermaritzburg to Durban is downhill. So एक साल uphill होता है, एक साल downhill होता है. But of course, rolling hills. The difficulty here is 77 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken, has to be done in 12 hours. And not just the entire distance, but there are interim milestones. So you have to do these kilometers in these many hours times, or else the bus comes and takes you.
The bus comes and takes you. Oh my God.
It's a DNF. It's a DNF. Did not finish.
Wow.
So now it's very popular in the running circuit in India. A lot of these super duper enthu runners in my running group in Bombay as well as in Gurgaon. One runner has done the Comrades. And it's a really, revered thing. Big deal.
Oh, how do you train for a 77-kilometer run?
You have to train for it. People go up to 50, 60 kilometers, etc. Of course, then I've done Wimbledon. So London mein jo London Marathon hai, wo April mein hota hai. That's the professional one. I've not done that. I've done the Wimbledon Marathon. That's a beautiful thing. Wimbledon is a county on the outskirts of London. So wahan pe there is a very cute half marathon which is organized, which was around the forest areas of Wimbledon. I've done that. That was a beautiful experience. I've run the Amsterdam. I think my best experience was Amsterdam. Clearly, outstanding city to be in. An amazing holiday. But even the run was a beautiful one. So me and my friend had gone. The place is just a visual sight. You start. एक तो in India you are used to waking up at 4:30 kind of ungodly, unearthly hours only so that you get better weather and less traffic. उधर तो लोग दिन में भाग रहे होते हैं 2 बजे 1 बजे. There is
क्या
running track.
मौसम होता है वहां पे यार लेकिन.
Oh yeah. So I remember केप टाउन में तो दिन में 2 बजे देखा था मैंने. People are running at 2 in the afternoon. एक तो the weather is so good. ऊपर से population is not a problem, so it's not crowded. Then there is running tracks which are isolated and अलग से बने हुए हैं उन लोगों के लिए. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
But yeah, Amsterdam, my best run and one of the best marathons that I saw. Again, TCS organized. If I remember the number correctly, people from 129 countries had come to run the marathon.
Ooh,
There
impressive.
There were 20,000, I think 12,000 or 20,000. I don't remember the number. There was a huge number of runners. Half and full दोनों होता है. You finish at the stadium. एक Olympic stadium है वहाँ पे. वहाँ पे is where you finish. You run across the roads of the city. You run through a park which is very beautiful. You run up till a point 21 and then come back. Okay. Throughout the route, there is arrangements which are made very well. Citizens, the locals are out cheering. The city is so beautiful. It offers some really breathtaking sights. बहुत ही मजा आया. And imagine all of it was so the day before the Amsterdam marathon, it was 12 degrees, 13. It was raining. We were really scared. We were shit scared कि क्या होता है, because weather is an important thing. If it's not to your convenience, the run experience can be a big torture. It can be very difficult. Fortunately, that day morning, it cleared up. बारिश नहीं हुई. It was 17, 18 throughout. So imagine 17, 18 degrees में 5-5.5 घंटा looking at some of the prettiest sights in Amsterdam. We had a
beautiful, beautiful. Do you also include a small vacation when you do any of these?
Yeah. So
not necessarily countries, even cities within India. Suppose you're going for a event to a city that you haven't been before, you try and combine.
Yeah, the idea is to go look around the city, etc. So Amsterdam, we spent I think a weekend, 3 days there. So did all the usual stuff. I remember after the run, we were, after 5 hours running, भूख तो लगी. But वहाँ पे we weren't feeling like eating. We were a little tired. Then when we came back to the hotel that we were staying, वहाँ पे भी कुछ था नहीं. Hotel में भी सारे runners ही थे. So I think they had finished up all the food by then or something. So then we went to the main city and then we said, चलो कुछ खाते हैं करके. There's this very popular French fries place in Amsterdam. I forget the name. So हमने बोला चलो कुछ नहीं मिल रहा. Let's just go there. So we went there. They make this big a bucket of fries and then they ask you कौन सा sauce चाहिए, कौन सा dip चाहिए. कुछ तो तब दिमाग भी नहीं चल रहा था. We said ये दे दो फिर. We had the whole thing. मतलब उसके बाद we had made a plan करके हम लोग ये खाएंगे, French fries खाएंगे, फिर यहाँ जाएंगे, फिर dinner करेंगे, फिर इस pub में जाएंगे, etc. We had the French fries and then we were done. हो गया हमारा.
This is actually, it's like how earlier you were saying that you run to earn a beer at the end. Here it's you run for earning your Belgian fries.
Belgian fries, yeah.
Belgian fries, yes.
Correct.
Suppose with the little thicker ones and longer ones, right? I remember this, yes.
And then we went to a coffee shop and we thought, okay, let's try some of the more exotic stuff in Amsterdam. But by the time the fries settled in the stomach, हमारी कुछ try करने की हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई. We couldn't really enjoy the joint. And then the next day morning, we ended up exploring the hash brown.
Very nice. Morning lena chahiye, so you can have a long high. It's nice.
Oh, that's another story. So the next day morning, the day after the run, is when we were to take a flight in the afternoon. So हमने सुबह बोला ठीक है अच्छा सा breakfast करेंगे. So then we'll finish our breakfast, come back, take a suitcase, go to the airport. हम सुबह गए वो जो Google ढूंढ के we went to the breakfast place. The place was one of the most rated New Zealand का breakfast जगह था. Amsterdam में. So we were very excited about it. तो हम लोग चले गए. She said, okay, your table will be ready in 10 minutes. Why don't you guys take a walk around and come back? We said, ठीक है. We walked around. We saw a place which was there are these retail hash बेचने वाले parlors. I don't know what they call them there. but वहाँ पे वो लोग hash बेचते हैं. They sell either a joint or either the brownie or something. So वहाँ पे we said ठीक है hash brownie दो. The guy said, do you want it mild, medium, or strong? We said ठीक है औकात अनुसार let's go for the medium. So we had one brownie. We split it between the two of us. Then we immediately had the brownie. He said ठीक है ये तो chocolate brownie जैसा ही है. We ended up going to the breakfast. The breakfast was outstanding. We really enjoyed the breakfast. And then towards the end of the breakfast, we were like, yaar, neend aa rahi hai. We didn't realize what was happening. Then we took a bus to the hotel. By the time we reached the hotel, it then hit us, oh my God, we are high on the brownies.
We are high.
Then we were panic struck. Our biggest worry was we are so sleepy that we will end up missing our flight back home. So we got our luggage into the bus to the airport. There were shuttles from the hotel to the airport. So we got our luggage into the bus. You won't believe it. The journey from the hotel to the airport is just 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, apparently, I asked the question 6 times. Have we reached the airport? Have we reached the airport? Have we reached the airport? I somehow felt that journey to be a 45-50 minute journey. मुझे अंदर से एंजाइटी हो रहा था कि मैं अपना फ्लाइट मिस कर रहा हूँ करके. तो मेरा दोस्त बोल रहा है साले 2 मिनट हुआ है अभी तूने 1 मिनट पहले पूछा था कि have we reached the airport? And there were localites who clearly realized that we are high. So those guys were also very sporty and they were like, don't worry mate, you're not missing a flight. So we finally made it. We checked in for a 4 o'clock flight in the afternoon. We checked in at 12:30 because we were so scared. We checked in and then, would you believe it, at the airport, we slept for 2 hours after we checked in because we were so high. And then an 8-hour flight from Amsterdam to Bombay, I think I was awake for 45 minutes. No movie, no book, nothing. Pura time.
Oh my God.
जब तक India land किया, fully fresh and sober.
Oh my God. For me, when I had the brownie over there, I must have, generally I talk 25 to a dozen. I spoke some 50 to a dozen. My husband never got high because of that. Park mein baithe the, and I still remember how much I spoke. Poor guy, man. He was like just answering all my questions, everything.
But some of the museums there are an experience. The Van Gogh Museum as well as the Anne Frank Museum. You should go check it out. So yeah, when we go running, I do make it a point to see what the city has to offer. Taki we tick all the boxes. Yes. But the highlight is still the run.
Still the run. Yeah. Do they make arrangements for your stay or they give you some options and all that when you go for such large marathons? No, you figure out yourself.
The run ke dauran arrangements in terms of hydration, nutrition, etc. is taken care of. There's normally an exhibition or an expo before the run where you go collect your run package, your bib, banner, other stuff. But accommodation, flights, etc., you have to manage on your own. But for international runs these days, there are travel companies which have packages for runs. So they will get you into the run. They will get you a nice hotel which is right at the stadium where the run begins or ends. So you have the most convenient hotel. And of course, they'll also throw in a bunch of sightseeing activities, etc.
Oh, nice.
So some of them have become big. I haven't gone through them. So when I went to Singapore, Amsterdam, London, etc., I had done this on my own. But yeah, some of these marathons which are difficult to get into the world majors, I do intend using some of them.
Yeah. So you do need this kind of time certificate for a run, right? How do you get it? And what is the whole funda behind this time certificate?
So to be able to run the 21, you need a 10K timing certificate. To be able to run the 42, you need to show a timing certificate of 21 or more. That's, I think, more for health reasons, ताकि कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि adventurous आदमी आके पहली बार में 42 try करे and then.
Correct. Using that, you get your registration done and that running bib funda.
Yeah. So you have to buy your entry into the run, which gets you a bib. Now the bib is when you register and get. For registration, the timing certificate is a mandatory thing. So most of the professionally run marathons insist on a timing certificate, no matter how you get the bib. Now when the bib slots get over, when the registrations through the normal route get over, you can get charity bibs. So a lot of NGOs get bibs from the marathon organizers, let's say TCS in case of Mumbai, and then let's say marathon में seats या entries खत्म हो गई हैं, अब you want to go register, late हो गया, you now realize that you want to run, so you can sign up for some of these charity bibs where the entry fee is higher, but the money goes towards the NGO. But udhar bhi timing certificate is required. That is more of a, what do you say, precondition to ensure that they have the right kind of people. They don't want any mishaps. They don't want any people who are falling ill in the middle of the race. They don't want liabilities, etc.
Makes sense. Okay. Now tell me, which are the runs that you've enjoyed the most?
Yeah, the ones which I've enjoyed the most, I told you about Amsterdam. I think Lonavala will be a close second, if not joint first. The Lonavala Ultra is a beautiful stretch. It's 50 kilometers, 35 and 50, though categories. You're running on rolling hills. The weather is very nice. For the first 3 hours or so, it's dark. Once it gets brighter, you see some very nice sights. And all you have on the road is runners. You don't have cars. You don't have much crowd. Crowd support नाम की भी इतना चीज नहीं होता because it's wee hours of the morning and Lonavala is a small town, ऐसा कुछ खास वो नहीं है, and you're running outside the city also. If you know that Hilton Shillem वाला area,
okay, that side.
That's a very क्या बोलते हैं barren place ना, वहाँ पे कुछ खास आबादी भी नहीं है.
Correct.
So it's not that बहुत लोग रहते हैं, but the side is a beautiful one. So I quite enjoyed Lonavala Ultra, and it is a difficult trail. It's not an easy trail. To 50 kilometer on the hills, non-stop rolling hills is not that easy also. One has to train for it. So it's very satisfying to run that. Satara is a nice one. I have heard Nilgiris is a beautiful trail. I want to do that.
Oh,
there is a trail.
Ooty Kodaikanal side and all, is it?
It's not the Kodaikanal side. I think it's somewhere near Ooty.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be a very, very beautiful trail. I've heard it's the ulta. So Satara mein you go up and then come down. Yahan pe you go down 10K and then come up.
That's tougher, man. The second half may going, it gets tenuous.
So the second half of the run is supposed to be difficult. I haven't done that, but I intend doing that. Baki, otherwise, even Delhi for that matter. I ran the Vedanta Delhi half marathon this time. That's also a big deal, by the way. I think after Bombay, it's probably the second biggest run in the country, if not first already. Beautiful run. Good time of the year. It happens in October when the weather just starts getting better. A lot of crowd, very, very well organized. And you're running in Lutyens, Delhi, if you know that area.
Oh, beautiful.
India Gate ke aspas wala area.
Yes.
So you get to run around India Gate. You get to run around Mathura Road and all that. So the place and all is very nice. Green, very clean, good weather. So Delhi also was surprisingly a very good run.
So after your run, do you have the tendency to snack? Raste mein poha kha lo, puri kha lo, kachori kha lo.
So when I started running, the euphoria after finishing a marathon was so high that one go, okay, now get me the beer. I'm waiting. Karke. We'll go run towards the tent which is serving beer or go find the place which is serving pizza and all that. But now actually it's exact opposite. I just finished the run, peacefully get home. My wife's mother normally makes normal South Indian home ghar ka khana, and that's what why I enjoy the most. Have ghar ka khana after the run and then sleep off for a couple of hours. That's like my remedy to feeling blissful after the run.
Oh my God. How lovely. It's like you've totally gotten into a fantastic discipline, man.
Yeah.
Ever thought of going for one of those Antarctica runs and midnight marathons in Norway and
so actually
crazy ones?
Nivedita's sister's husband does that, Sumant. He is a long distance runner, and when I say long distance, entertainment के लिए church gate से मुलुंड भाग के वापस आता था. So,
wow.
So we used to stay, Nivedita's parents used to stay in Mulund. So when we were there, I remember both of us were there at their place. He said, okay, I'll go for a run and come back. I thought he'll be back in an hour or so. He was back home by lunchtime. And then I realized he ran from Mulund all the way to Churchgate, then was coming back and then took a cab from halfway home or something. He's done some of the very difficult runs. He's done the Gobi Desert run, 200 kilometers in 5 days. He's done the, I think the Atacama Desert run. That was again 250 kilometers in 5 days. Where is
Atacama Desert?
South America, I think.
My God. 200 kilometers in 5 days.
Yeah. So he is a long distance runner of a different kind.
So the 77 kilometer thing he might be able to do.
The Comrades.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Comrades one. Oh my God, wow. Do you also have similar such aspirations and goals?
So I am not very keen on going beyond of this, because then the amount of, so a marathon is not just about that day. A 42 kilo, I keep saying this, a 42-kilometer marathon is a 500-kilometer journey. You have to train and run 400 plus kilometers so that you do the last 40 kilometers well. So it takes up a marathon. A full marathon takes about 3 months of training. If you're an okay-ish runner, it takes minimum 3 months of investment. You can't just decide to run the marathon 2 Sundays from now. So for anything more than 40 kilometers, you will need more time, more intensity, more discipline. That might come at the cost of either family or work or something. So
Yeah.
beyond that, maybe a week mushkil ho jayega. But I want to do more of these. So I think this format is nice. 3 months of training is good. So last year, for example, last season, I did 4 marathons and ultra in 12 months. So out of 12 months, I was training for 7 months, which is good. So it makes you stay on your toes. You live a disciplined life, eat right, sleep right, have the right kind of schedule. And of course, apart from all that, there is huge benefits also. Running is like a big life hack for me. It is therapeutic. You end up becoming creative, productive, etc. So stay committed, stay fit, sort of invested in it, and then also travel to different locations and see what it has to offer. Is the current space that I'm in.
Have you ever chosen a destination that यहाँ पर तो भागने में बहुत मजा आएगा, यहाँ चलते हैं?
Oh, that's so. Every marathon, tak it's the next marathon. हर साल change होता है वो. So last year Amsterdam था, last 3 महीने से सिंगापुर था. अभी अगले साल तक के लिए वो न्यूयॉर्क है.
न्यूयॉर्क है. How? When is the New York, Chicago, and the Boston Marathon?
So New York is first Sunday of November. We were actually gonna run it this year, but हमने तो मतलब टिकट्स देख लिए थे. बच्चों को बैंगलोर छोड़ देंगे पेरेंट्स के पास. हम लोग न्यूयॉर्क चले आएंगे. टिकट्स देख लिए थे. But then suddenly my job change happened. I had to move base. By the time we thought we'll do this, तब तक entries चली गई थी. So hoping, fingers crossed, that we get to do New York. New York is supposed to be a really good marathon. It's a world major. Yeah. And not that easy apparently. It has some bit of a bridge and a hill kind of a gradient towards the end. So let's see. किस्मत अच्छी रही तो अगले साल नवंबर में.
How lovely! How exciting! And then when is Chicago and Boston?
So
like which time of the year?
One is October, one is September. London is April, I know that. Chicago, Boston, दोनों के बीच में is September and October, I think. And then this one is November.
So 10 साल का वीजा लेने का US and
ले लिया. So actually visa expire हो रहा था last year, तो हमने सोचा चलो इसी बहाने न्यूयॉर्क हो आएंगे. But plans got changed. तो अभी 10 साल का वीजा renew करा लिया. So उतना तो कर लिया.
Step 1 is done, right? Step 1 visa ready हो गया है. You guys are training
actually
anyway.
The biggest, so the only hurdle between now and running the marathon is getting the entry into the marathon. बाकी सब हो जाएगा. Flight ticket देख लेंगे, ये सब कर लेंगे, छुट्टी ले लेंगे. All of that will be managed. किसी तरह entry मिल जाए बस. My brother told me yesterday, he also runs. He ran his first Singapore full. We ran it together. He ran his first full last weekend. He got into Chicago Marathon. उसको entry मिल गया. So he's running the Chicago Marathon next year.
Wow. So he managed through one of these tour things, or he managed the timing?
They have draws. They have lotteries, which you can. So Chicago 24 में उसका हो गया. What he told me yesterday.
क्या बात है. Wow. How expensive are these? Like to register for?
Not ridiculously expensive. Amsterdam wasn't that bad actually. I managed my entire trip. Of course, I am not a very lavish spender, but I managed my entire trip within a lakh and a half.
Fantastic. And no, for registering in a marathon?
Was not very expensive. Marathon, Singapore, if I remember, was about $100, 100 SGD. Even Amsterdam was about 100. What's it called? Euros, I think. 100 euros, 110 euros. Wimbledon also was in the range. So yeah, India is about 4-5 grand.
Correct.
विदेश में भागोगे तो 8-10 हजार रुपए.
8-10 हजार.
Marathon registration is not a big deal. It's not very expensive. The flights are more expensive. Hotels you have to take care. But getting into the marathon
is where it gets difficult. Yeah. Lovely, man. So like I said, तुम्हें कोई ऐसे one of these wonky वाले करने के safari marathon, Great Wall of China marathon.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. मैंने सुना है बड़ी सही चीज़ है वो.
But वो भी काफी मुश्किल होगा. And plus it's not a very broad
So you have to run in, I think, 2 files or something like that.
Oh, yeah, it must be quite a
Because
thing.
it's
Was
not
है तो
very
इतना सही narrow.
correct.
What about the Athens marathon? तुम्हें कोई करने का मन नहीं करता? Like going back to the roots of running.
Filhal, like I said, the list of what is there on the priority changes every year. So Filhal for the next 12 months is going to be New York until I scratch the ditch.
अभी तो न्यूयॉर्क मराथन के बाद next 2025 next destination.
Next जो
अगले
भी होगा
साल
तब
का
देख.
अगले साल का running place. So you are actually now shortlisting places of vacation basis, either an event or a phenomenal trail. It happens.
So wherever we end up going, भागना तो है ही, but if you can club it with a nice marathon, so it's like a
सोने पे
double bonus.
सुहागा.
Yeah, Australia will be a good destination that way. So we went to Australia for a vacation last year. I cannot. We ran a little bit. I ran across Bondi Beach करके एक
Oh
Sydney
yeah. Very
so
exotic.
I did the stretch across Bondi Beach. But Sydney ho या Melbourne ho will be like fantastic places to run.
Yeah. And all these places, the roads are so nice, the weather is so nice. So maza aata hai. It will be fun running such places.
Yeah, and because of the weather, it's not that you are a complete mess when you're done with the run. मतलब 17-18 degree है. By the time you're done with 10-15 kilometers, you may need to change your t-shirt. If not, you can just go ahead. ऐसे ही चले जाओ, खाना वाना खा लो. You can continue with your day. अपने यहाँ पे by the time you're done with 10 kilometers,
तुम्हारे अनंत पद्मनाभ स्वामी टेम्पल के वो आंटी जैसे पावम, she had to take a stinky t-shirt in.
Yeah, so you may need a full blown wash and servicing when you're done with the run. वैसा नहीं होता.
वहीं पे बॉन्डी बीच में कूद जाओ, have a small swim and get out. बस हो गया, finished. You're fresh as new.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell me, which marathon have you had any like one of those runners high?
So the runner's high is when you finish the marathon, when you sort of get done with the mileage. So that was in case of Lonavala Ultra. That was when I recently finished the Singapore Marathon in the PR. I did my PR when I did well. But the high...
You did your PR what? Oh, personal best. Okay. What about the record?
That is when you feel good about it. But the high also is when you are running in a beautiful place. So I remember running in Berlin. I had gone on an office trip only, but then Kismet se I found a place which was very close to the hotel and was beautiful, was breathtaking. So bhagte raha, matlab the sight is just not getting over. It was that great. That is a different kind of high. So the experiences that I described, जैसे पुणे University था या फिर Sabarmati River front था या फिर
unexpected kind of locations where
that high is a beautiful experience. When you run and the sight is just so pretty that you are motivated to run more, you're really having a great time. The environment, the vibe, the sight, the nature, everything put together becomes like a very nice package, and that becomes amazing. So that way, yeah, I ran once in Cape Town, I ran once in Berlin. I had similar experiences because I had no idea of where I'm going, and I just thought, ठीक है चलो होटल के आसपास एक again आज रात को beer पीना इसलिए आज सुबह भाग के आते हैं. But that 1.5 hours run was so beautiful. It was so breathtaking. And then when I came back home and I googled it up, I realized, okay, it is one of the best parts of the city. I just happened to be there by luck. So that's why now I Google and try to find the better parts of the city.
For itself.
Yeah. But yeah, a runner's high is not just for finishing the marathon and doing well, but is also for finding a nice trail, a nice trek to run on.
Fab.
Yeah. So one place which I want to do, which I haven't been able to do, is Ladakh. The Ladakh Marathon is supposed to be one of the best in the country. My running group here, as well as Bombay Wali Janta, went both years, and they had such an amazing feedback of the place. The only problem is you need 10 days to go to Ladakh because you have to acclimatize.
Acclimatize as well, yeah.
You have to get there and do nothing for 2 days, and then do your first run 2 or 3 days after getting to Ladakh for a short duration, and then again do nothing. And then after 6 days or 7 days, when you should be in a position to run, because at those altitudes you can then be oxygen deprived if you end up running earlier than 7-8 days.
Yeah. So I met this guy. I was waiting at the VFS office for a visa sometime last year, and I had an extremely long wait, like 8-hour long wait or something. And there was this guy who was sitting beside me, and we just started talking. तुम भी वहीं पे जा रहे हो, मैं भी यहीं पे जा रही हूँ, क्या बकवास है, VFS एकदम पकाओ है. We started sharing our dukh. So then he started asking me, what do you do? So I was telling him about the podcast. So I asked him, what does he do? He was a youngish guy, like just out of college kinds. He said he loves running. So running is one of his super major passions. And he was traveling to Turkey for doing the Cappadocia run. So he has done the Ladakh marathon, and he does this tough terrain
runs.
So he said he was going to Cappadocia. So he was coming from India, going to Cappadocia. He has his brother who lives in the US, and he was also coming from the US to Cappadocia. They were going to meet. He said the Cappadocia run is such a difficult run. I do not know whether I'm going to complete it. I really hope I can, because it's very high chances of injury. And it's a very harsh terrain, like a lot of barren mountains, up, down kinds and all that. So he was talking about how difficult it might be, and he was looking forward to doing that. So he also mentioned Ladakh, that he had done it, and it was a very, very
Ladakh
difficult
is supposed to be really good. So I had I think almost 10 people from my running group here in Gurgaon who went. They were really, really overjoyed by the arrangements, by the experience. And udhar bhi two types of marathon. One is the Silk Route, which is the tougher one, and then is the Ladakh marathon. Again, I was referring to the Kenyans in my group now. So the Kenyans in my group, so they did the 72 on a Friday in Ladakh, took a day's rest on Saturday, and then on Sunday did 42. Imagine.
क्या बोलूं मैं यार, अलग लेवल रेस्पेक्ट हो गया उनको.
That's why I said inspiration की कमी नहीं है यहाँ पे.
की कमी नहीं है, truly. And calling them Kenyans is like, yeah, always the top ones are always from Kenya only, the top marathon runners. So perfect. Oh my God. You are, for us, you are the inspiration की कमी नहीं है वाला इंसान, Dilip.
No, I'm barely there.
But I have a question. Because you have a very good network of runners, you have been in touch. Even in Bombay, they introduced you. But for example, a person, somewhere in a different part of the country who might not have a good connection with, or like a network full of runners, and then how do they find these network, marathon runners? Because I think that would be quite motivating to, have an entire group exercising together.
No, so Godly, you're right. That's what the running scene in India has become so popular. All the places have running groups where people get together, do some kind of exercise or running. And this is not just tier 1 cities. I mean, Ambegaon runners करके मैंने t-shirt देखा हुआ है. I have seen Latur runners, I've seen Jalgaon runners, I've seen Ooty runners, I've seen Pondicherry runners. People wear their running group ka t-shirts in the marathon, na, when they're running the group. So all the tier 2 cities, unless you're in a remote place where population ही कम है, in India at least, I don't see that as a problem. You have Facebook pages, you have WhatsApp groups, you have enough Instagram posts. Thanks to social media, there is enough awareness of these groups also. So for you to land up and find out about a group who is running or who's into running is not so difficult, and doesn't matter if you're in a tier 2 city. No, so tier 1 mein to you'll be spoiled for choice, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there is so many for you to choose from. You'll actually have to find out who is better, where are people better, where is it closer to home, etc. So I don't think that is a problem at all. There is enough options, and depends on what kind of a person you are. If you are a not so social, not so क्या बोलते हैं, in your head kind of a person, then a lot of people run alone at all. Also, they don't have running groups, etc. to get into. They manage their own practice runs and train. They do half, full, सब कुछ करते हैं. बट अपने को हम थोड़ा लेजी हैं, तो हमको थोड़ा पीयर प्रेशर चाहिए होता है. टाइम पास करने के लिए कोई साथ में मिल जाए, to some shoulders to cry on, so that helps.
And some people to discuss where I have to move next in terms of career always helps.
Some gossip.
Some gossip, very, very important. Correct. Awesome. So
like you said, Revo, what do you want to end with? I would just say both. I know your podcast is more about travel, but thank you for having me over. Running and travel is a very powerful combo. So I would only advise that for people who are interested in travel and are thinking about running, just run, go for it.
Right, just do it. Yeah, man.
I hope I have been in line with your expectations. And
yes,
I'm not
100%,
disappointed.
100%. Because it's a part of your life. It's a part of your exploring places. Now you don't have to always just go, I book tickets, I want to do sightseeing. It's not always that. It's different ways that you explore places. Running is also a very, very different way to explore. So my brother also runs, marathons. Not the full marathon. He's more of the half marathon runner. And he is also training for this upcoming Mumbai marathon.
Very cool. Very cool.
So he's also extremely fond of, outdoor training. Most cities that he goes, he'll carry his running shoes and ho paya to, he'll get up in the morning and go for a run. And just like how you're saying, he'll find some kind of a park or he'll just run on the road. When he comes to Bangalore, he'll run in our apartment complex or agar ho paya to Cubbon Park or something like that. Like he prefers outdoor running and outdoor training way more than, heading into a gym and running over there.
Yeah, same here. I've never been inside a gym. I quite like running outside. And Bangalore though is a great place to run.
It's a great place to run, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, this was phenomenal, Dilip. Bahut maza aaya.
Thank you, Godly. Thank you, Rebo. I really hope that the content was useful.
Content was
looking
gorgeous.
Looking forward. But I had a lot of fun. So I told you, reading about running is funny. Speaking about running is also good fun. So I take back a little more inspiration to run tomorrow. Today is a Saturday. I look forward to my run tomorrow.
I look forward to starting running as well, and I promise I will start doing it.
Yes. We shall 100%. Run together soon.
Yes, we shall. What about next year going to New York together? Can I start training now only? Like from zero, can I start?
Of course you can. So let's do that.
Let's do that. Two exciting runs together.
Thank you. Look forward to run.
Yes, bye. Have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your run. Milte hain.
Bye.
This was an absolutely phenomenal conversation. And with this, we are ending the first season of our podcast, Misadventures of a Sneaker. I'm a little senti कि पहला season खत्म हो गया है, but we've had a dream run in our first season talking about 12 different destinations, many experiences, some spooky ones, some awesome ones, some very funny ones, lots and lots of it. So we're taking a short break after this first season of our podcast. We'll regroup and launch our second season where we'll be going international. Lots of places, lots of countries, lots of experiences coming your way.
But wait, guys. This is not over yet. We are just taking a gap from the podcast. It's not a gap from everywhere else. So you can still find us on Instagram, our newsletters. So stay connected with us on Instagram. Sign up for our newsletters for amazing travel vlogs on a lot of destinations. Also write to us if you want to tell us about a destination you want us to cover for the next coming year.
Absolutely. Follow us on Misadventures of a Sneaker on Instagram or on misadventuresofasneaker.substack.com to get our newsletters. They are all a lot of fun, a lot of FOMO creation and informative, of course. So looking forward to meeting you guys again in our second season in 2024. Till then, have a fantastic New Year. Happy New Year and bye-bye.
And happy traveling. Bye.